Yeah.
Hey, he's just an average dude. Like, I'm from Massachusetts, and I see a lot of people with, like, Boston Red Sox accessories on. So, you know, like, in general, like, when you meet somebody outside, you never know what's going on. Everybody has, like, their stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mind-blowing once their true colors show. Like, the way Lawrence did, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, Jeff Stacy. I think people had to have known that something was up like that. Oh boy.
We could. Now he's somebody I would like to get into, like, the psychology of. I mean, that's something we should do. That's something I'm proposing for one of these talks. I mean, obviously, like, Lorne is the centerpiece of the church. He's why we're here. But I think it would like behoove us to at least, like, take one predator for every talk and, like, devote a portion of the hangout.
Yeah, like a guest predator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Precisely. Because I know we all have, I'm sure we all have, like, stories and theories about Stacy. I mean, I think, like the whole, like, got everybody in the Kentucky state. You got John Travers Fowler, you got Walt Beaver Hunter, Justin McCatass. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, okay, I think, just speaking to him just, like, very quickly, Casey said it, Commissioner James said it, they felt sorry for Dustin when they saw him get out of the role. And I think everybody, just like you went, you knew people, like, you grew up with people like that in school and everything, and you empathized with them. However, the body does not excuse the brain.
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
that's basically it. Okay, yeah, life dealt you a bad hand, and that sucks, but
I think the only one.
Revenge.
I think the only one I actually truly kind of empathized for was Nathan Downhour. You know, it's this guy. His self-esteem he was from the Ohio string. He was like the 21-year-old virgin. Yeah. I mean, you could tell this guy has no self-esteem. I mean,
wasn't he going to evangelical college?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, his arrest processing was on there for a while. I think they took it down.
Yeah, it's like you know, you could even tell in the chat, like, you know, his mother, like, dominated his life. He didn't want to, you know, he was afraid of being out of contact with his mother, or she would, like, you know, go on a warpath or something.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, you know, never had a chance to develop any sort of self-identity. I mean, you look at him, you know, he, you know, wasn't a, you know, horrific looking guy. You know, he was kind of an average looking guy. He wasn't like Quasimodo or anything. You know, if he had just gone and talked to a girl, you know, at his college, you know, things would have turned out much different for him. So I think, you know, I think that part of what he did was just his own lack of self-esteem.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You know,
those are great observations. Yeah, there's certainly, we can, to touch on the Dustin thing. If we're truly moving toward a world that's free of discrimination, and then, you know, we can't change the way we would feel about somebody just because they're disabled. Like, you know,
sure.
Guilty of the same thing. Like, maybe it's harder for him to meet women or something. Sure, that's.
He was married before too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Shit.
Here's I've got a theory that I came up with the other day, and I'm sure I'm not the first. Speaking of the Ohio bust, Kevin Westerbeck.
Molesterbeck?
Molesterbeck. The dirty Lupa himself. I'm thinking he was intimidated by women his age because most of the women he met were of, like, average size for that age, shall we say. Certainly. So I think he probably just felt it wasn't so much an age thing as it was a height thing.
Sure, I know how that feels.
Yeah. But, it's still, that certainly does not excuse what he did to the young relative they never specified.
Yeah.
Which I can understand. You want as much privacy as possible, yet you want to get the story out there. But anyway, I don't want to monopolize the. I also don't want to throw us off course. We are here to discuss our Lord and Savior.
Yes.
We are, but I want to say real quick that I love that idea that we would take a bit of an off-road and discuss other predators. And I have a question to that end for everybody.
Yes.
But before I get to that, I want to read something. Leslie Rose, a.k.a. Lily, from the videos. How you doing out there, girl? She's on Skype right now, and she just sent me a question. So I told her I would read it, and we can discuss. And I actually have something to say about it. I wonder what Lorne could possibly have said to employers after he got out of prison about his getting caught with Dateline. She spells caught, C-A-W-T, as she said.
Good on you.
He must have really had to impress the milk company or wherever he was working to be able to get a job there. That must have been so embarrassing. And then she says, sorry, she doesn't have any sound. No problem, Leslie. Thank you so much for the question. So the question is, what do we think? How do we think Lorne presented himself vis-a-vis his past and when he was looking for employment? And somebody posted something about that on one of the videos a couple of years ago. I think it was on Rascal's video, the legendary video, the original Lornography video that has been since removed because fuck NBC. But somebody posted saying that Lorne had come to his workplace, to this guy's workplace, looking for a job, and that he was open about having been on the show and even seemed to be bragging about it.
Really?
Oh, God.
Yeah. So I don't know if he is so delusional still that he thinks that it's a claim to fame somehow. But apparently
Claim to fame that he's trying to get wiped off the fucking face of the earth.
Yeah, right.
He's in two minds about it.
In that lawsuit that he has against Nathan for his website, the failed attempt at least.
Yeah, he in all of his lawsuits and his DMCA and everything else, he comes off like a victim, like he's the victim here, and this is so bad for him. But then to hear that he tries to use it as some kind of a calling card if he can, well, he's a fucking manipulative piece of shit. I don't know what else to say.
I have one thing to say about his job that I found recently, but I'll let you finish about that, because to brag about being caught, about being a predator, that's pretty fucked up.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked, yeah.
Really.
See, I would think for his new jobs, he probably just has like connections. It's like a small city, small little town. He probably just knows somebody who helped him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay, now that we've since we've touched upon the supposed boasting about being on the show, I'm surprised TLC hasn't offered him anything.
So I want to bring this back real quick because I want to hear from everybody. We were talking before about some of the other predators that we love/hate, and I'd like to hear from everybody here on the panel who your second favorite predator is. Weary is mine, and we ought to go down the line and just let everybody briefly talk about who their second favorite guy is and why. So anybody that wants to jump in and start, go for it.
Oh, I've got one. Maurice Wolin, the doctor from
Tall,
California.
dreamy Doc.
Yes, tall, creepy doc. You know,
I didn't even know anything.
Well, yeah. Let's
Don't bring the kids.
Lawrence life was not that great before the West. I mean, it's like, we weren't looking at a cure for cancer here, with Lorne. But, I mean, how many years had Wolin gone to school? And, obviously he was a very respected guy. He had a lot of money, You can obviously tell that he was kind of a geeky guy, but, he had made something in his life. He had a family, he had, and to be willing to risk all that. That just boggles my mind.
Kind of like what Stephen Coates did with the having a family, being like a successful musician.
Well, I've heard his music.
Is it bad?
It's pretty. It's very dated. Take a listen to it.
I listened to one or two tracks. I mean, I'm curious to hear more. I mean, I basically just from looking at like the fonts he chooses and everything, I kind of knew what to expect.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of elevator music in my opinion, but
yeah, workshop, new age inspired, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so Ben's got Maurice Wolin as his number 2. Let's see, who else? Beavis, who do you got? Who's your number 2?
I'd have to go with Donald Morrison.
Yeah.
What's going on?
He's another one that fucked up again recently.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Research him.
What happened?
He got caught in a library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Within last year.
The fuck was he doing in a library? Masturbating?
He said he was helping his girlfriend on pictures.
Oh, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was looking at pictures of kids, right?
Yeah, he lost me a girlfriend.
Yes.
The thing with him too is even on the show he admitted that he's done this kind of thing before and
Oh yeah.
took pictures of a girl.
Yeah.
How old was this?
Actually had like a real problem.
He was like 48 at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody made the big deal. He was 48 and he was worried about his mother throwing his computer away.
There's a Google image search for him. There's a picture of him. He's had the shit beat out of him. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, like a black iris.
yeah. I mean, it may not still be up, but last time I searched, it looked like someone had kind of, gone and jacked him up.
Wow, well, that's...
And if you look at his recent sex offender picture, he looks like the stereotypical pedophile,
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's grown into the role. And also his, I think his father passed away in the past few years as well. Arnold Leroy Morrison Sr. Because at first I saw the obituary, I was like, oh shit, he kicked him. Like, oh, that's dad.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope they didn't jack him up too bad, because if he ever loses his looks, I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, Donald better freaking pray that he finds like a woman that's blind, and
I don't know, man. I hear he's in running to be the next James Bond.
Whoa, what?
Somebody just mentioned Walter Babst, and
Pinky Man and Corona.
I don't want to say too much because she may be listening, but I have a friend who lives minutes from him.
Oh shit.
Whenever I told her about my obsession with pornography, and she was a little confused by it for some reason, she started, we started talking about the RSOs and how you can go online and look and see the RSOs that are in your area, and she did that for her area, and she said, oh, there's one in my area, and I said, you got a name today, Walter Babst? I said, oh, wow. I said, man, he's a legend amongst those of us who, are obsessed with these people, but, small world.
Sick son of a bitch.
Getting my ass kicked.
So we've got Walter Babst. All right, who's
I need
next?
you to execute me. I need to talk to you first. Ladies and gentlemen.
If somebody had given him an ink pen, he could have done it himself, a la Jeff Stacy.
That's the interview. Did you watch the interview with the police where Jeff says, "Put the bullet in my head"?
He's really come on for me lately. Weary, I think, will always be my second favorite guy, but after Shaman did his analysis of the Stacy footage, I went back and watched the uncut stuff again, the police booking, everything again, and there's a lot of comedy there. There's a lot to that.
I think not to take anything away from your number 2, Sam. I'm just a little too disgusted by Wary to binge watch his bust.
Yeah.
He's a sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's the one. I think it's like all the people like Fowler, who didn't stay in the chair or wait in this room, the ones who just went straight in. I think he was the worst because he was like, going over the gate and all that. It was,
Now, Lauren Hayden just sent me a Skype message, says that Lauren Hayden is the name of one of the predators.
yes.
Is his second favorite. It says he was arrested a few miles away from the decoy's house in the Riverside Sting. He was a software engineer who managed to hack into the decoy's chat logs by sending her an executable and reading them. He was also catfished once before by a